And it begins with a fertilizer application. And then I would explain why and the science behind it. So I use a granular fertilizer. It's a slow release product, so it feeds your lawn over time.
Okay.
So I put this down at the beginning of the season to help the lawn out of dormancy and to provide consistent nourishment and growth to the grass. So you just kind of go through and you explain each step. So the way my program works is you start with a granular fertilizer. That's going to be high in nitrogen and iron. That's what gives you that sharp click of a green in the spring.
Okay.
And you can really tell who's treating their lawn and who's not. Even though
Right.
everything greens up, this is going to green up that much more and that much sharper. You get that definition. And that's going to last, long lasting over 60 to 90 days. So, 3 months where it's continually feeding that grass slowly over time, just a little bit every day. Because if you took or if you went on a vacation, you left your pets here, would you provide them one big bowl for 30 days and expect that to last? Or would you have somebody come over and continuously feed that pet?
Good
You'd have to
analogy.
have somebody to come and feed the pet continually
Yeah.
so that they're getting the right amounts. They're not consuming too much at once. And that's the science behind it. And you get what you pay for. So if you invest in a higher quality product, you're going to get a higher quality result. So that's how the program starts for everything uniform. And then you do what's called a blanket spray in the second application. So you spray the entire square footage of the grass. And by the way, you fertilize the whole square footage as well. So you spray with pesticides the entire square footage of the grass in a blanket spray. So you're spraying every inch of that lawn. And you're spraying it for some of those early active weeds. That's going to be like your clover, your dandelions are usually the first ones to come out. So you're going to spray that entire lawn because what that's going to do is your fertilizer is still feeding by the time you get there for that second app. Now you're killing weeds off. So now the grass, you have to think about kind of like one of those mesh things that you put down as a barrier for weeds in a mulch bed. The grass is getting so much thicker in the root system, it blocks the weeds out from growing. So that's why you're going to do that fertilizer first, then you're going to blanket spray and try to eradicate everything. You're going to do this a third time in the third application. So you're going to spray the entire square footage again. And this time you're going to use a preventative for crabgrass because that's a warm season. Invasive grass is going to start coming once the summer gets hot. So you're going to get a pre-emergent down for that too to try to ensure that it's not going to come through in the summer. So that's halfway through your season. You've already fertilized. You've sprayed blanket sprays twice. And so as the owner of the company, I've already invested a lot of money. I've sprayed these lawns to the full extent. So you're getting a price and it's getting broken down over 6 visits. I might profit less off the first 3 visits, and then
Interesting.
I start to profit more on the back end because that first fertilizer, it's all about the rate that you put it down. So I'm putting it down at a higher rate per square footage to get that growth started.
Yeah.
So those first 3 applications are the highest investment for me, but it
Okay.
all balances out over the season because then I start to make more money as the rates come down and the amount of product comes down. So if you fast forward to visit 4, now you're kind of like into the midsummer. You're going to replenish that fertilizer. So you're going to fertilize again, but you're going to drop the rate and you're going to drop the amount of nourishment that you're putting down. So that product is cheaper. But it's still that high grade product. So you're going to put that down and then you're going to do what's called a spot spray. Now that you've eradicated weeds on the full property twice, you shouldn't have that many weeds left, but they kind of are cyclical too. They follow cycles of when they grow the best. In the summer, when it gets hot, the grass kind of thins out because it's stressed. Kentucky bluegrass, what we have here in Wisconsin, and perennial rye, does its best in the cool springs and the cool falls. That's when it grows the best. In the middle, it gets stressed, and that's why people who don't water, your lawn gets yellow, it goes dormant. It's so stressed out that it literally goes dormant like it would in the winter. So that middle of the summer application, I have been feeding that lawn the whole time. I've sprayed it twice. Now I'm going to reemerge and reintroduce more nourishment. I'm going to kill the weeds that have made it through or just recently popped up now that it's stressed. The 5th visit, I'm strictly going to do a spot spray of weeds. So you can see where my company is going to profit so much more due to my hard work, due to the products I've used. It's not like you're cheaping out on people, but it's a more natural approach because you've invested a heavier use of the product at the beginning of the season, and now you're letting the lawn fight it naturally by inducing that growth. So by that fifth visit, all you should need is a spot spray to come around and kind of clean up those weeds again. And you've got specific weeds like Creeping Charlie and Wild Violets that are starting to come back at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So you go and treat those. And then your sixth and final application is just a granular fall fertilizer. So you're going to end the year the same way you started, with high nutrients, and you're going to help that lawn really blow up and grow again into the fall and get ready for the harsh winter when it goes dormant.